Hello, and welcome to a video on how to decompose vectors in grade 12 physics. We know how to add vectors together using component notation, but if we're given a vector in magnitude and direction format, we need to be able to turn that into component notation in order to be able to add more than one vector together. So let's take a look. We're going to try and decompose this vector here. Notice that right away, I know that I have magnitude, and I know that I have a direction here. So my magnitude and my direction I already know about, which is great. What I need to do now is turn this into component notation with x and y. So the very first thing I should do is I should sketch out this vector. Now, I happen to know that this vector is going to be in quadrant this one here because I've got west and north. So it's going to be somewhere between west and north. So what this means is that when I look at my direction written like this, I'm going to start at west and I'm going to go towards north 33 degrees. So my vector is going to be here, and this is 33 degrees. I also know that the length of this vector is 350 newtons. And this here gives me a little triangle that I can use with my trigonometry skills in order to find my x and my y. So if I look at this, I can go, that's going to be my y component, that's going to be my x component, and I can solve that. Right away, I can look at my x component and go, that's going to be negative because I'm moving in the west direction. My y component is going to be positive. I'm moving in the north direction for that. So let's take a look and let's decompose this here. My x component is, in this case, my x is the adjacent, so I'm using cosine. So what I'm going to do is do cosine of theta equals my adjacent over my hypotenuse. You should remember that way back from grade 10. So putting this in, my cos of 33 equals x over 350. In other words, 350 cos 33 equals x. Great. If I want to solve that, I can plug that in and I get my x component is 293.53 newtons. All right, my y component, similarly, I can look at, I know that I'm going to need sine, but I'm going to shortcut the algebra a little bit and just write this as 350 sine 33, which works out to in my case here, 190.62 newtons. So that's my y component. So I can now look at this vector, my vector that I started with, I can write in component notation as 293.53, comma 190.62. So that is my resultant vector here in this case. Okay, this is a look at decomposing vectors. Please note, x is cosine and y is sine. This is true if your angle is from the horizontal axis. So when we write these angles, we typically start with west or east and then go turn a direction towards north or south. That is our standard angles here that we're going to use. We're always going to start at the horizontal and move towards north or south. But read the question carefully. It's worth drawing the diagram. Draw it out. The reason you draw it out is to make sure that you're finding the correct thing using your trig skills. Hope this has been helpful. I'll see you in the next video.